Inside the halls of power, economic shockwaves from sweeping tariffs. Thursday morning developments. A significant shift in U.S. economic policy took center stage this morning, as President Trump declared April 2, 2025, a historic moment for American industry. Labeling it Liberation Day, the president framed the move as a pivotal step toward reclaiming economic strength, stating that America would once again be wealthy and prosperous. For decades, he argued, the nation had been exploited by both allies and rivals. Now, he claimed, the US was making a bold statement by implementing tariffs aimed at protecting domestic industry. Tariff history and political consequences. Economic analysts quickly pointed out that history has not been kind to aggressive tariff policies. Notably, President William McKinley's 1890 tariff policies led to a major political loss for his party, while similar moves in the 1930s resulted in economic downturns and prolonged political consequences. Republican Senator Rand Paul was among the first critics, calling the tariffs a disastrous economic strategy. He warned that such measures not only disrupt trade but also weaken political support. Global and market reactions. Markets reacted sharply overnight to the announcement. Dow futures plummeted by up to 1,000 points, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq each fell by approximately 3%. The president's sweeping 10% tariff on imports from all nations, set to take effect on Saturday, sent shockwaves through global financial circles. The administration also outlined plans for increased duties on dozens of countries accused of unfair trade practices, although the methodology behind these calculations remained unclear. Speaking from the White House Rose Garden, President Trump insisted that these policies would reinvigorate domestic production and open foreign markets. Jobs and factories will come roaring back, he proclaimed, promising lower consumer prices and a stronger industrial base. However, former Vice President Mike Pence voiced strong opposition, calling it the largest peacetime tax increase in U.S. history. International responses and economic concerns. Governments worldwide signaled their intent to respond. Officials in the European Union, China, and Canada announced they were preparing countermeasures. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent urged other nations to refrain from retaliation, warning that an escalating trade war would have dire consequences. If you retaliate, escalation is inevitable. If you don't, this could be the high watermark, Bessent advised. Analysts suggested that many investors had underestimated the scale of the tariffs. Retail giants like Walmart and Target saw stock prices drop, with Nike, reliant on Vietnamese manufacturing, suffering a 7% decline, and Dollar Tree, which heavily depends on overseas imports, tumbling 11%. Economic forecast, a risk of recession. Economic strategist Steve Ratner painted a grim picture of the long-term effects. This is far more aggressive than expected, with a 54% tariff on Chinese goods, including iPhones, clothing, toys, and bicycles. Americans will see steep price hikes on everyday products. It acts as a tax, slowing the economy and contributing to inflation. Recession is now a real concern. Experts also noted a fundamental misunderstanding of tariffs within the administration. Contrary to the president's claims that foreign nations would bear the costs, the burden actually falls on U.S. importers, who pass the expense down to consumers. JP Morgan Chase issued a dire warning, likening the tariff hikes to the largest tax increase since 1968. They predicted economic contraction, mirroring concerns expressed in the Wall Street Journal's latest editorial. Final thoughts: a return to 19th century economics. Many observers compared Trump's approach to outdated mercantilist policies, reminiscent of the William McKinley era. Historically, tariffs have proven to be a double-edged sword, offering short-term protectionism but often leading to economic stagnation and retaliatory actions. As Wall Street braces for impact and global markets react, the true test of these sweeping tariffs will unfold in the coming months. Whether this policy reshapes American industry or triggers economic downturn